Hello, beautiful people. It's Karen here. I hope you are having an absolutely sublime day. It is absolutely gorgeous here, and I'm thinking it's banana bread day. I've been thinking about banana bread for about 4 or 5 days, so I picked up some bananas about that time. They've been sitting, they've been getting really gorgeously ripe, and I think they're just about ready. So, why don't we bake some banana bread? I've assembled the ingredients and we are about ready to get started. I'm going to go over the ingredients first so that you know what you'll need. You'll need 2 cups of flour. You may use all-purpose flour. I simply prefer cake flour. You need 3/4 cup of brown sugar. You may also use regular granulated sugar if you do not have brown sugar in the house. I prefer brown sugar because it gives your banana bread a deeper, richer flavor. But if you don't have it in the house, don't worry about it. Use what you have. You need a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You need 1 teaspoon of baking soda. You need 1/2 cup of butter. Make sure that you've softened the butter before you get ready to make your banana bread because you're going to need to cream that with your sugar. Typically it calls for 2 eggs, but I use organic eggs and they are a bit smaller than regular eggs, so I always add an extra egg because of that. You'll need overripe bananas, typically 2 to 3, but if you like and you're like me, I like to add an extra banana as well. These bananas could be a little bit riper. The banana bread is actually better when the bananas have actually become brown on the outside, almost black. But again, didn't want to wait for the banana bread, so we're just going ahead with them as is. A little bit of vanilla, and I'm adding some pecans to this mixture as well. You'll need a loaf pan as well. If you don't have a loaf pan, you can use other pans. You can use a regular cake pan. You can use a springform pan. So again, when you're cooking, don't get so caught up in you have to have the exact ingredients that a recipe calls for. It's really about just going with the flow. You want to get your measurements correct, because with baking, it's not the same as regular cooking, so you can't just throw a whole bunch of things in there, but you can actually substitute things when it calls for one type of ingredient versus another. Hello, beautiful people. I am so excited about this banana bread. I cannot wait until it comes out of the oven. But let's go over a few preliminaries before we get started. A few things that will make the baking, the mixing, the whole process go a lot smoother. We want to make sure that we mix our dry ingredients together first and add in our wet ingredients last. So let's go over what we're going to do. We're going to mix the 2 cups of flour, the 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and the 1 teaspoon of baking soda together in one bowl. I like to pre-mash my bananas in a separate bowl prior to putting them in my banana bread. And if you're going to do that, you can mash them to whatever consistency you like. Some people like their bananas really a rough mash because they like some chunks of bananas left in there. Some like a puree. They really don't want to see any bananas in their banana bread. They just want to taste that lovely texture. But so that's up to you. You want to cream your butter and your sugar together. As far as your pecans, it depends upon how you like those as well. Some people like a rough chop. Some like them whole, some like them actually mashed. I typically do a rough chop, but again, it's to your taste. Your eggs you want to beat in a separate bowl as well. Once you have your dry ingredients mixed together, at that point you want to add your creamed butter and sugar to the mixture. And at the very last, we'll add your mashed bananas and your eggs. You don't want to overmix this. That's very important. If you overmix this mixture, your banana bread will not be light and fluffy. It will actually be almost chewy and gooey, and you do not want that. After you have all of those ingredients mixed together, you simply want to fold in your pecans, and that is the process for the ingredients. Afterwards, you will pour that mixture into your loaf pan and pop it into the oven for about an hour. And then you'll be ready for amazing, lovely banana bread. Let's get started. And we are moving right along. We've got dry ingredients in a bowl, we've got bananas in a bowl, and we have the eggs all cracked and ready to be beaten. Now you could mash these bananas with a fork, but I'm going to simply give them a couple quick pulses with the hand mixer because it'll be a lot quicker and I'll be able to get to my banana bread that much sooner. We have now added the creamed butter and sugar to our wet ingredients, and we are mixing that together. Again, don't overmix this. You simply want to get it to the point where everything is saturated, but you don't want to overmix, so be very careful of that step. The texture that you want on this is light and crumbly. As I said, you want to be very careful not to overmix this. The next ingredient you're going to put in is your eggs that you've lightly beaten. Again, these don't need to be overly beaten, just a light beat. And you want to add it almost as if you're adding one egg at a time. And the last major ingredient you're going to add to this will be your bananas. The very last step is to add a touch of vanilla. And then fold in your pecans. The batter is now ready to go in your loaf pan, which you have lightly buttered, and then we will pop it in the oven. So we've got the pan all nice and full. I've actually probably got a little bit too much in here. It could have probably used a fourth less batter, but I didn't have enough for a full sample, so I just decided to put it all in there. So I'm going to pop it in the oven. As I said, the oven has been preheated to 350, and I'll see you back in about an hour. Well, I decided to make a sample anyway, and I am so glad I did. I made 4 little mini muffins from the batter. Hopefully, I don't eat all 4 of them before the entire loaf comes out, so we'll see. Someone stop me. I'm on number 2. This is not looking good. The timer just went off. it's time to pull it out. And it is absolutely gorgeous. It's ready. So beautiful, people. The banana bread is done. It's golden brown and lovely, and it is absolutely delicious, as I can attest by the samplers that I've already eaten. So, make it for yourself, enjoy it, and have an absolutely sublime day. Until next time.